freedom and democracy. Yeah, that's right. Helldivers 2. Let's talk about it. Let's rant about it. Let's do the things because it's fun. Yeah. So Helldivers 2, I recently purchased the game, and kind of the same concept of Pal World. You know, it's like we have this thirst for certain adventure games. You know, Pal World fit that niche of having Pokemon actually be a Pokemon game. Granted, yes, it's got guns and stuff, and it isn't a Pokemon game. We've already talked about that. So if you, oh my goodness, so jittery, so vibrationy. So yeah, you just got to deal with that. I'm sorry. But to get back onto just real quick with Pal World, we most certainly wanted something like this from Pokemon. Not necessarily the guns and all that other fun stuff, but you know, they were close. Pokemon Company was close with Legends Arceus, but I do not believe they will ever hit the mark. Maybe they'll prove me wrong at some point in time. But needless to say, the crave for adventure, the crave for certain aspects of games, to why multiple games exist, is ever and never ending. It's never ending. We have to have something to cross the attention span of some way or another. I also did a recent video on the whole, you know, what the hell was Ubisoft thinking with their Skull and Bones, of which whatever, and I made a remark on Sea of Thieves being, you know, just this close to being a pirate game, and I actually shot the cannon, I think, a little too soon on Sea of Thieves, because I didn't know that they just recently came out with the Safer Seas option, so you could actually go into a game and fuck around, fuck off by yourself and not have to worry about other players. And oh, did it just inch even closer to the most perfect pirate game out there. The only problem actually at this point in time is just server stability, and I keep getting kicked off of Xbox Live, and I think there's just a lot of communication errors because I own the Steam version of the game, not the Xbox version, of which of course would be included in my Premium Pass or Xbox Game Pass, whatever have you. Sea of Thieves, up there. Pal World, up there. So I got my pirate adventure, I got my little monster collection adventure. Now I just need a shooter. Helldivers 2, baby. Helldivers 2 is the answer. And I'm jumping in it. I jumped in it the day before the patch that came out the other day. So I played it for one day. I kept watching streamers. I kept hearing about it through the grapevine. And people are just having just the best time of their lives. So I'm just like, all right, you sat me into it, let's go, let's see what's up. So I bought the game, and yeah, wow, what an experience. It's now, I don't want to make this cross-reference just yet, because we're gonna have to talk about something in order for myself to make this cross-reference. So work with me, but we're gonna talk about this real quick here. Never had I felt so useless on a battlefield. Even the Battlefield games and Call of Duty and stuff like that, eventually I will find my groove and I'll start to become useful. But as far as, you know, when you go onto these planets and these missions by yourself, that's it. Like, your chances of survival are very low, especially if you're just now jumping into the game, you don't really know the mechanics, you're not familiar with the mechanics of it. Even on the easier normal difficulty, which I'm at normal difficulty right now, I have to beat a mission on normal difficulty in order to get the next difficulty level. So really, I like that. I like that whole concept that you need to beat that lower difficulty before you have access to those higher, because if you can't do it on normal, you most certainly can't do it on anything higher over than that. So I completely accept and agree with that. So that's just like even like a personal milestone to just unlock those harder difficulties as you go. Wow, drop you right into the shit, and just like for democracy, and you're just like, yes. Of course, it's a whole play on Starship Troopers with that whole, you know, movie series and stuff like that. It's absolutely awesome, fighting the good fight against the insect menace or the automaton menace or whatever, fighting for democracy, all that good stuff. Great stuff. Man, I tell you, like, and it comes to mind, like, because I start branching out. So what did this snatch away from? What game franchises should have learned from this particular game? One thing that comes to mind is Halo. Maybe a little bit of a stretch, but if you think about it, Halo has toyed around with this idea with a lot of things, such as Halo War and just the game series itself, where they pitch you against other things. But at the same time, though, you don't really feel too weak. ODST was probably the closest thing you ever got to having that, like, you are kind of a weakling, and versing at the Covenant elites and stuff like that. But oh my god, could you imagine a Halo game done like basically ODST? And oh man, Halo needs to take some pointers from Helldivers 2, for sure. Just replace everything that you see with Halo and you'd be like, god dang, that's a hell of a game right there. Yeah, it's a hell of a game. But there's some fits with it, and the biggest fit I have with it is just the matchmaking. Like, I played nothing but solo. The only way that you can actually get in with players, from what I've seen, is that you actually have to be friends with people. Oh, friends with real people? Not for me. Not for me. I'm actually trying to get the wife hooked up on it, so because we have a PS5, and I did buy the Steam version of Helldivers 2, so technically the wife can have the PS5 console, and I can have the Steam PC console, because it is cross-playable. So that's awesome. It is technically, so long as you have the systems, cross-playable and a couch potato game. So yeah, it kind of sucks that it doesn't have co-op, and it sucks that it doesn't have a single-player campaign aspect of it, which allows that co-op action, which we can go to the whole thing of like, just games will never do it because it just takes so much rendering, or whatever the case may be. But if you're in fixed locations and there's fixed things, i.e. campaign modes and stuff like that, that's not taxing at all, because all the assets are already rendered in, and all of what's supposed to be there is going to be there. So split screening it one way, 2 ways, 3 ways, 4 ways, doesn't fucking matter. You can play the game with multiple people and it's just fine. So, but of course, as with everything that's nowadays, it is a live service game. But they did it a lot better than Skull and Bones, okay? You actually feel like you really belong in this game and that you're making a difference. And even playing solo as I have, I like seeing that my efforts are going towards the war effort for democracy. Like, it's cool. It's cool. I can handle that. I can handle live service like that. And on top of that, you don't have to spend any money. You don't have to spend a damn dime. Just buy the game, play the game, and you can unlock everything. You do not have to spend any more money on the game. You just need internet service, and away you go. Now, granted, for the PS5, we'll have to sign up for PlayStation Plus, I'm assuming, full well, but for Helldivers 2, I'll do it for Helldivers 2. For Skull and Bones, fuck you. No, I'm not going to. You can't make me. Get better. Do something. Jeez, dear Lord. Minding that, we already covered that in that video, okay? Go watch that video if you want to learn about that. If you want to hear me rant angrily about Skull and Bones. But for this, yeah, it's a little bit of a turnoff, though. Not just from the whole co-op thing, but just I have sat there for minutes on end for quick play, and nothing happens, and I keep hitting it, and it says it found a ship, but it doesn't hook up to the ship, and then whatever, like, I don't get it. And then I hear, of course, well, the servers are at capacity, but supposedly they fixed the servers and their capacity, and then I keep seeing people continually play with each other, but it's because they have a pre-made group. None of these people are doing randoms. None of these people are actually hitting the quick play button and then getting into games and stuff like that. That's not happening. And so really, for someone who's buying the game and they are trying to join teams and stuff because they're done playing solo, the game really isn't meant to be played solo. It is meant to be in a team of people going for goals and objectives and so on and so forth. But you can't really do that right now, and at least I've tried. I've even done the whole freaking fixes thing of deleting this and deleting that, altering this, altering that. It doesn't work. None of it works. They do not talk to each other at all. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if that's just a me thing, but I've also seen, I've looked at plenty of posts online to where this most certainly is a thing with practically everybody. So the only way that you're going to be able to play with people is if you generate your friend code on Helldivers 2, and then you start slinging it. Find a streamer that you enjoy, like I have. I think I streamed up with the Dark Army. Yes, Dark Army. And I just, eventually when I get a chance, I'm going to throw my friend code in there, and hopefully people will add me. Of course, if I see anybody else's friend code, I'm just going to go ahead and add them, because I don't know when we're going to be on at the same time, and who knows. But if that's the only way we can actually play with others, if there's a will, there's a way. So I haven't confirmed anything yet. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but that's a problem. And really, that's probably the only major big problem that there is. Oh yeah, the patch. I have watched so many YouTube videos leading up to why I want to talk about this whole patch thing, alright? To why people are losing their minds on it, and they're just, it's the whole fucking thing over again, man. The whole thing of just like, no one can ever be satisfied with anything, and no one can just accept changes and look at the brighter side of things. Okay, so I'm going to take you down the path of righteousness and democracy, okay? You need to learn what this game is about. This isn't a power trip. This isn't a game where you go in and can just fuck everything up and be like, ha ha ha, look at me, I'm such a strong super soldier. Play Halo if you want to do that, okay? Play something else where you are given God-gifted powers and you can absolutely do this. You are not that person in this game. You are a human being, like you and me, baby. You and me. We are human beings, and we were just given some awesome weaponry and tossed into some of the most difficult battlefield scenarios you could ever put a human into, and we are not expected to survive. It is a meat grinder game, okay? That is what Helldivers 2 is. It's a meat grinder, where you do your best and you will still fail. And when you do succeed, it should feel that much better. When you finally succeed, it should feel great that you succeeded. And these balancing things and stuff that they've done, like, oh, they just nerfed the best guns in the game. No, they just made them act appropriately. And yes, it should get harder. It should get harder and harder and harder, especially with the difficulty levels. It shouldn't be a cakewalk. If you want a cakewalk, go down to whatever the lowest, even under easy. I don't know what the lowest difficulty is. I'll throw it up for you. But that's the whole shtick. If you want to feel like you're on a power trip, drop yourself down to those lower levels and have your power trip. Even then, though, you're still probably going to have a little bit of an issue. But if you go into Helldiver, Suicide Mission, or Impossible, it kind of puts it right into the name, doesn't it? Like, okay, if you're going into a suicide mission, do you think you are going to be all-powerful in a suicide mission? No. Especially Mission Impossible. The only person to pull off a Mission Impossible is Tom Cruise, okay? That's the only person that can do it. There's nobody else, because it's an impossible mission. Alright, you're not a Tom Cruise. You are put in this damn thing, and you are going to die miserable, miserable deaths. And this is where this comparison I was saving for comes into play. Helldivers 2 is essentially Earth Defense Force meets Souls. A Souls game, so, Elden Ring and whatever the case would be. All of those Souls series. It really does. It takes the whole monotony of things are going to kick your ass over and over and over again until you either give up or you learn how to actually take care of it. And this is the thing. Souls games are frustrating to me, and I do not like playing them. However, I've gotten to game +5, I think it's +5 game, +3 to +5, on Souls 3. Okay? So, clearly, even though it's a fucking hard-ass game, I still learned the mechanics of the bosses, got better, got good, got my god powers and stuff, and started feeling like I could actually handle these things. And played the shit out of the Souls games. They are meant to be unforgiving scenarios that you should feel proud of completing, because a lot of people don't complete them or want to even deal with it. Helldivers is in that same category. Not saying that people are going to give up and go away or whatever, but that's why they have the different difficulty levels. Souls games don't have a fucking difficulty level, okay? They're hard. They're hard mode all the time. And I think you can make them even harder, which is ridiculous to me. But nonetheless, it's just, if you want a soft core, feel like a god, bullet, just spray and pray and have a good day, play Earth Defense Force. Play Earth Defense Force. It's the same premise. You know, it's a Japanese crossover game over here for us. And, you know, you're destroying big giant insects and other things and whatnot. And you don't have to be focused or too tactical. And of course, there's increasing difficulties and stuff, so you can make it hard if you want to. But at the end of the day, Earth Defense Force is just a bullet slinger. Like, you never run out of ammo. Yes, you can run out of ammo, but rarely, if ever, you do. Actually, I think all of them are infinite ammo. There's only certain weapons and stuff like that that do have ammo. But for the rest, I mean, you just hold down the right trigger and just walk around. That's all you do in Earth Defense Force. Just hold down the trigger, walk around. So if you want to experience that, if that's what you want Helldivers 2 to be, go play Earth Defense Force. Get the fuck out of our democracy. I suspect a traitor. A traitor towards freedom and liberty. It's too fun. It's too good. It's too fun. So yeah, just like, there's games, if Helldivers is starting to become way too difficult for you, or you can't handle it, or you don't think you can, then there are other things you can play. Helldivers 2, though, is going to succeed in being just one of the most tactical live action shooters that's going to be in the market. That's why it's so popular right now, and why I don't give a damn how the developers, they could drop it down to you start with one magazine. You just start with one magazine. We're low on ammo, but here you go, fight the good fight. Drop you into the battlefield, and you just have to deal with it. I'm perfectly fine with this. So I don't care what they nerf, what they buff, what they don't buff, what they take away from, what they add to. It's the experience. Like, you should be so happy to be able to beat a Charger or a Biotitan or any of the crazy individual enemies out there. You shouldn't be looking at that thing and saying, oh, I could kill it with one shot with the railgun. Dear God, so much vibration. Is what it is, right? Semi-trucks. They are not they're not comfortable rides, okay? Just here's a disclaimer: motion sickness. If you watch this, dear God, it's terrible. I mean, it gets fixed for a little bit. It's just because a stupid tablet up here is jiggling, so it makes the lens want to focus. I don't fucking know. Anyway, so yeah, I don't care what they do. I think about, like, something that comes to mind is, like, I think it was Call of Duty 2, where they sent you into the Russian front, and as you're coming out of the back of a lorry truck, the Russians, you know, one guy gives a guy a gun, and the other guy gives you ammo, and you're the one that gets the ammo. So you don't have a gun, but you got ammo. Okay, what the hell am I going to do with ammo? So you got to wait for someone to die, take their gun, throw the ammo in, and then proceed to fight for Mother Russia, comrade. So, yeah, those experiences are great, and so I don't care. I don't care if they make the shotgun 60 rounds, 40 rounds, 10 rounds, you know. Obviously, there has to be a balance, because the game is what it is. You are lobbing a shit ton of bullets and rounds at the enemy, and there's a shit ton of enemies and things to kill. So yes, there has to be ways to get that ammo and stuff, but lo and behold, you have supply drops. So if you know what you're doing, of which of course you should eventually learn these aspects of the game, you're gonna be just fine. You're gonna be fine. So what if the fucking railgun doesn't work as well as it does, although it works just fine. You just got to have an unsafe mode. That's perfectly fine with me. Like, that doesn't strike me as I can't believe they did that. Now I can't one-shot stuff and I might blow myself up. It's a funny concept. For democracy. That's what makes it fun. Quit raining on the fucking parade of fun. Jeez. Again, if you're after the power trip, this isn't the game for you. This is going to be a Souls game. If you can pop into your head that this is a Souls game, you're going to start playing this game differently. You're going to start realizing that, yeah, you know what, I am just a weak little bitch, and I'm going to die and die and die and die and die mercilessly and hilariously, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's the people who have a problem with not having that power trip, and then all of a sudden they find themselves dying continuously over and over again. They're like, this game is no longer fun. I can't believe the devs have done this. It's not for the weak, soldier. You signed up to fight for democracy. And again, I smell a traitor. But that's the truth. So Helldivers 2, and to the devs, and if anybody fucking sees this shit, which I'm sure no one will, keep doing what you're doing, man. People, dudes, people, things, stuff. Keep doing what you're doing. I don't care. Like I said, toss me in with just some bullets and I have to go find a gun. I don't care. It's part of the whole just environment that you find yourself in. Now, granted, I would say that we are well off comparatively to the Soviets back in World War II, since we have space ships and stuff. So, yeah, I think we're fine there. But on the same level, it's just part of the game. That's just the game. So leave the devs alone. Let them do their thing. The thing that we need to focus on is getting that quick play. God damn. The thing we need to focus on is getting that quick play to work. That off, along with that. I'm losing my thought process here. Also, like, when you make yourself publicly available and people can just join into your game, supposedly, allegedly, just join into your game, that doesn't work either, because you can see the map and then you can see like a bunch of people dotting around the area in the difficulty mode that you have selected, and so you just see like one person and it's like, oh, you know, it's a level 9 or a level 5, that's close to my level, I could probably help them out, maybe we can do some missions together and stuff like that. And so I go to drop myself in and it just says unable to connect, unable to connect, unable to connect, can't do it. Nah, you're not joining the fight, soldier. You're going to be on your own. So really, that's the only thing I have. Everything else is cake. I love how the season passes are working, which is you don't need to buy anything, you just need to play the game and you'll eventually unlock everything in the season pass. All the season passes are available at all times, so you can work on whatever one you want to. I mean, the whole setup is fantastic. And so, for those naysayers out there, and if any of those naysayers watch this video, don't lose focus. Don't lose focus on what you're supposed to be doing, which is fighting for democracy! You're supposed to be in there killing bugs, killing automatons, and getting your shit wrecked. Getting your shit pushed in, soldier. It's not supposed to be a cakewalk, but have fun with it. Just let it happen, my dudes and dudettes and rockers. Just let it happen. Again, accept it. I don't care if the devs come out and say, oh, we're gonna have Helldiver difficulty day, where every mission you play is on Helldiver difficulty, and you get one gun and one magazine. That would be like a great April Fool's joke. Like April 1st rolls around and Helldiver devs are just like, every mode is on Helldiver difficulty. Every mode is on Helldiver difficulty, and we're giving you one magazine. Fight the good fight. Fight for democracy, liberty, and justice for all. Yeah, that's that would be great. But here's the thing: people be like, "I just want to play my game. I want to play my game." I guarantee anybody who played that day, and it was on Helldiver difficulty or whatever, would get tremendous rewards. Okay, to make up for the one day, it's just one day of having Helldiver Day. Oh man, that'd be so cool. But see, nobody would, I say nobody, there's just going to be some people out there that just doesn't think that's a cool concept. But you know what? That's the game though. So, to just toss you into an impossible situation, and whether you're ready for it or not, that would be great. Absolutely great. So that's the attitude that you need to have for this game. Is that if the devs throw you some fucking bullshit, you deal with it. Because that is the soldier that you are. Because you are literally diving into bullshit. So, get your head straight, get your shit figured out, enjoy Helldivers for what it is, and look at the actual things that need to be fixed, which is the whole server communication and jumping in with random people and having a better time with just getting into actual team efforts and not looking at this as a solo experience, because that's not what it is. We are fighting together as a team. And I will be sure in this video to put my player friend code. So if you want to play with me on Helldivers at some point in time, just add my friend code, and if I'm on, I'm on. If I'm not, I'm not. You know, there you go. Because I think this is one of those games that if I can actually team up with people, it's going to be a really good experience. I mean, it's fun enough as it is solo, although it's absolutely daunting because there's no focus, there's no spread of focus. When the bugs see you come down from their celestial plane onto the planet surface, they're like, meat! And you're the only thing that they can eat. So, yeah, alright. I would like to spread the love around a little bit and not be the focus of attention 24/7, which is the whole point of why the teamwork is necessary. So, good on you devs, good on you Helldivers too, just fucking phenomenal shit. Absolutely love it. Can't wait to experience more of it personally myself. Watching the streams though, it's fantastic. It is fantastic. So, that's all I have. Good half hour talking to you all. Of course, I gotta do some video editing, so maybe not quite a half hour. But I'll see you on the battlefield, soldier, for democracy!